everybody. My name is Paulien Wesselink and my brand is called Oh My Bag. We're from Amsterdam in the Netherlands and we are very excited that we are now available with enterthee as well. Oh My Bag is a fairly made and a sustainable leather product. Our products are made in Kolkata, India under fairly made circumstances, and also the leather that we use is natural leather made without chromium. So we call it our sustainable leather. My personal motivation to start Oh My Bag has to do with, I believe that fair trade is a good answer to help people out of poverty. I studied international relations and history, and my career ambition was always to maybe work for the Foreign Affairs Office or the United Nations. And after my studies, I did an internship at the Foreign Affairs Office. And there I realized I really loved the subject matter, but I really wanted to start something for myself. Go to a country where it would be very helpful to provide good work with good labor conditions, and where I maybe could really do it differently in the fashion industry. But I didn't really have any experience in either business or bags or anything basically. We just went and we took a leap basically. Because I really love the country, I love the colors, I love the people, I love the atmosphere, and I really saw that I could provide meaningful jobs here. To have bags made there. So we work with 4 different producers, all based in and around Kolkata in India. One of those producers I already worked with for 10 years, since that very first trip that I was talking about before. This is called EMA. It stands for the Equitable Marketing Association. They are also associated to WFTO, the World Fair Trade Organization. Now in total we work with 4 producers, and also with some smaller producers who are more NGO/charity organization. For example, Free Set Global. We work together with them for our cotton totes. They are a fair trade organization that provides employment for women who have been trafficked into prostitution, for example. What is really transparent about how we do things is that, for example, all the information that we have about our producers is communicated on our website. We feel proud to share the information for where we produce. First of all, because we want to give the people that make our bags also a little bit of a platform. So there's a lot of cattle in India, and all this cattle is used for the milk production, and in the end, when in the end of life of the cow also goes to the slaughterhouse. We work with 2 different types of sources from the leather. One local, which is only Indian, and I think around 4 or 5 years ago, we also started working with Italian leather. The cows in India are smaller, and as you can imagine, they live outside on the streets, so they have more tick marks, for example, or they are smaller, and some of our designs are quite big. And European leather, so this leather comes from Italy, but mainly also France is where the source is. Those cows are much bigger. There are less tick marks, there are less stretch marks not necessarily, but there are less, and to also avoid to be very wasteful in cutting the leather. We want to try to use everything. It is also very nice sometimes to be able to use European hides, because they are just more sleek and you can use them better for bigger bags. All our leathers are tanned without chromium. When you work in Germany, for example, or France, it doesn't necessarily have to be a problem. But when you work in a developing country like India, it can very much more be a problem, because it's more difficult for Indian tanneries and how the Indian leather infrastructure is built to make sure that all the effluent water is treated carefully and that it's not comes into the groundwater or in the soil, for example. So to avoid that, we wanted to avoid working with chromium altogether and only use natural materials to tan the leather. So chromium, but also other heavy metals are completely avoided in the tanning process. My idea initially, for me, sustainability is beautiful design, timeless design, that products that you can wear for a long time and that are made without harming the environment too much. Of course, I find it important to notice that everything that we make on the planet can bring stress to the environment, you know? So for me, the important thing is that we are aware as consumers to not use too much that we do not need, you know? If we have one beautiful bag that we love and use, cherish that bag, love that bag, use that bag. Try not to feel like you want to have 20 at the same time and throw them out, and next year you want a new collection. Cherish your one thing. We are trying now in this year, hopefully we can make it in this year, otherwise next year, to design a product that is really made for the circular economy. So that means that in the design process, we think how the product can be disassembled and how we can reuse the items next, and what to use it for. What we currently already have, which I think is very exciting, is that we have our second-hand program. So every customer who is fed up with their bag, they can exchange it at the Oh My Bag office, or they can send it in even, and they can pick out another second-hand bag. So we have our second-hand library. So that means that the bag will stay in the loop. So their old bag goes into the library, somebody else purchases it, somebody else uses it instead of maybe throwing it away. I think is something very exciting.